Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are watching from. Yeah, that's why I'm greeting everyone at their different time zones. So welcome to Civic TV. If it's your first time here, please feel at home. We are very welcoming community. If you're a returning subscriber, you know how we do this. Yeah, so let's like, comment, share, then proceed with the video. So recently I visited Nigeria, West Africa, and I must admit there's so many things that I noticed. So for those who are watching me and they're like, okay, so you visited Nigeria, where are you from? Savik is from Kenya. So I recently visited Nigeria from Kenya, and a Kenyan now visiting Nigeria for the very first time obviously had a lot to see, because it was my very first time there. There are many things I hadn't seen. There are many things I had seen in movies, and it was now time to experience them in reality. Yeah, so join me. Let me take you through a journey. Let me tell you how my experience was like. What are these things that really shocked me? The culture shocks that I experienced there. So from the topic, you've seen me saying about culture shocks. So let me tell you about these culture shocks. So yeah, Nigeria 101. So let's begin. So Savik is here, just landed at, it's called Nadi Azikiwe Airport in Nigeria. That's the international airport in Abuja. So having landed there, and I'm now at the departures. I want to get into a bolt and go to the hotel to just take a rest and all that. Here I am. I've ordered my bolt. The bolt is here. Then I'm like, in Kenya, our cars are right-hand drives. So the first thing that shocked me in Nigeria was a left-hand drive car, because the driver came, my luggage was put in the boot, and then I'm like, okay, let's go in. And I went to the driver's side because I was used to doing that in Kenya. So I went to the driver's side. I went to board the car, and then the driver is like, man, I'm sitting there, I'm the driver. I'm like, oh, but your car, but the cars I'm used to, the driver should be seated on the other side. That is the right hand side. But this guy is telling me no. Drivers here sit on the left hand side and passengers sit on the right hand side. So that was my first highlight. It was the first shock. It was the very first time I was seeing this. I had seen it in movies. I had seen it in American movies. So yeah, I think America has, left hand drives and all that. But I did not think that was the case in Nigeria. So it was the first thing that actually shocked me. Now, we have left the airport. We are now hitting the road to go to the city of Abuja. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so we are now hitting the city. We're now hitting the road to go to the city of Abuja. And then what happens? I realize that vehicles actually keep right. In Kenya, the first rule, when you go to driving school, the first rule that you're given is that always keep left. So you know that as a driver, I'll always keep left. So if I'm on this road, I'm going this way, I'll be keeping left. I'm going that way, but I'll be keeping left. And whoever is coming will be keeping left, will be coming this side. So that's what happens in Kenya. Apparently, that is not what happens in Nigeria. So they keep right. So the cars are left-handed, but they keep right. In Kenya, our cars are right-handed and we keep left. Two differences, yeah? So that really shocked me. It was a culture shock. It's something that I was not used to. So yeah, that was my experience. Now thirdly, a third thing that actually really shocked me, kinda, because I'm not used to it so much, is that rent in Nigeria is actually paid annually. We're used to paying rent monthly in Kenya. And then I go to Nigeria, I'm telling these guys, actually, I'm looking for a house. Instead of staying in a hotel, I want to get, an apartment, because I'll be staying here for quite some time. So I need an apartment. Then they are like, you know what? If you need an apartment, you pay annually. So I'm like, annually? Oh, what is that? I mean, we should pay rent. In Kenya, we pay rent monthly. So why should I be paying rent annually? Then they're like, actually, that's how it works here. So you get in, you have an agreement with the landlord or the agents and all that, but you pay your rent in January, for the next, whole year, or you pay whichever period you're coming in, but you pay it for the whole year. So you agree for 12 months. The least they can do is 6 months, but the rule of thumb in Nigeria is that rent is paid annually. So I think that was a shock to me. It was something that I had not actually anticipated. So it was a new learning, and it was a culture shock, as I say. So it's part of the things that I learned, because in Kenya, honestly, we used to monthly rent payments, and sometimes we go for 2 or 3 months not paying rent, and landlords even do very weird things. But yeah, that's it. Another thing is about tourism. I think I really expected much as far as tourism is concerned, or maybe let me say tourism for the states that I visited, because Nigeria is about 36 states. So for the 3 or 4 states that I visited, or that I've managed to visit so far, they are not really big on tourism as to what I'm used to in Kenya. Because you go somewhere, you're expecting something. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. So you go somewhere and you're expecting, I'll see some lions, I'll see some elephants, what you're used to here in Kenya. But then you just go to a zoo and you see very small animals there, and then you're shocked, like, how, really? Is this what I came for? We're used to, if you go to a zoo, at least there should be a zebra, there should be a giraffe, all these animals that are normally tamed. But you go to a zoo there and then you're shocked. Nothing much to see, really. So I think they're not doing very well as far as the states I visited. I can't fully say that tourism, especially wildlife, is not that big in Nigeria, but as per the areas that I visited, honestly, you can't compare what I saw with Kenya. So as far as wildlife is concerned, honestly, Kenya is doing really very well. Now, there is something that really shocked me. I think this is a fourth point that I need to raise. That is the use of single-use nylon papers, or single-use plastic bags. Back in Kenya, those are banned. We use non-woven bags, so we are used to non-woven bags all along. So it's even a crime. You feel very guilty if you happen to touch nylon bags or these plastic bags. But now in Nigeria, they are very common. Whenever you go shopping, your goods are packed in the bags. Even if you're buying pure water, the water that is normally in polythene bags that they sell 20 naira, you get that water is in plastic bags. So plastic bags are just everywhere. So that really shocked me, because now, having been from this Kenyan culture whereby it's illegal to have polythene bags, and then these plastic bags per se, and then you are there now in Nigeria, it's what you're interacting with at every angle. I think that really shocked me. It was something that I don't actually expect. So for me, it was again part of culture shocks. Then of course there is a bit of food. Foods are very different. The kissy man in me that loves maize flour, maize meal, or let me call it ugali. I'm just calling it maize meal for the sake of those people watching from other areas that maybe are not familiar with what ugali is. So ugali is purely maize meal. That's what we're used to. Especially that is one of our main meals. And then you go there, you're expecting to find something like that, because you expect that this is Africa, so obviously everyone has maize. But then you get there, you find that people there are consuming more of cassava. Most of their meals actually are made from cassava. So we've eba, we've fufu, we have fufu. I think fufu is made from yam, and then we have semo, and then we have amala is equally made from cassava. So these meals of theirs, they're very different from the ugali or the maize meal that we're used to. Our maize meal is very hard. You can press it in your fist and you feel good. But these foods that they have, they call them swallow. They're very light. You cannot do this. You cannot press them. Just pinch with your soup and just let it be swallowed into the mouth. So on food again, yeah, there was a bit of culture shock. And there's one thing I noticed in the market, at least in the states that I visited. It's actually women who are selling meat in this market, and meat is actually, sold just in the market openly. The butcheries in Kenya have very specific regulations. You must have a glass display, you must have white tiles. Whoever is selling the meat has to have a white cover and all that. That wasn't the case, at least in the states I visited. Meat was just in the open air market and people were just buying it. So I think that really shocked me as well. So it's among the things that I think I noticed, and I got to wonder, I mean, how does this happen? Yeah, it's not very common. So as far as delicacies are concerned, as far as food are concerned, I think it's something that really shocked me. Another thing, I think I've touched on this in a previous video. I have not seen such a big number of generators in my life like what I've seen in Nigeria. I mean, every household has a generator because power is not stable. They don't call it power there, they call it light. So light is not stable in Nigeria, and that's why every household actually has to have a backup, and the backup is a generator. So I've not seen that high number of generators, because in Kenya, yes, when it rains, we normally say that Kenya Power it's like wananua stima yao in Kiswahili. So basically they just they just keep the electricity to avoid it being rained on. But that's not the case in Nigeria. I mean, power is not really stable at all. So it was a culture shock as well, seeing so many generators, seeing so many people walking around with power banks to charge their phones. I mean, it was something new. It was something that I wasn't used to so much. And then I had actually thought that ACs, were fixed in the well-to-do families and maybe, big hotels here in Kenya. That's where you see households having ACs. But in Nigeria, every house, actually in the northern side of Nigeria, let me not say Nigeria, but the northern side of Nigeria that I visited, I noticed that actually majority of the houses have ACs fixed to them. So any house you go to either has an AC or they have a fan, because the heat there is too much, the temperatures are very high. So every hotel has an AC. I mean, even people in their small, as they walk around, some walk with hand fans. So it's something that equally shocked me, because we're not used to that in Nairobi or in Kenya. You get that sometimes even the temperature is too low that you have to wear very heavy jackets and all that. Yes, it's sometimes sunny, but not that sunny. So the experience was really very, very different. I'm trying to just have an highlight of these two different places. And so someone might ask, I actually posted a video the other day, and then someone was asking me about the corruption in Nigeria, the corruption with the Nigerian police. Are they as corrupt as our police in Kenya? I think I really won't touch much about that. I'm still in Nigeria, so anything can happen. So I don't really want to talk ill of them. But police are police now, so they have to collect. They have to collect. So yeah, you just give them their due. Give Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and you'll go. You'll have your way. So just like Kenya, you have to give them what they deserve. So as you pass, give them their 100 naira. You'll have your way. You just move. So what do you have for us? That is what they always ask. How far now? What do you have for us? Yeah, you give them what you have and you move on. So that's what actually happens. So yeah, that's as far as my visit to Nigeria is concerned, guys. So what was it that I've not told you about? I think there is something that I really loved, and I think Kenya should learn from it. Is about dual carriageways. I think as far as roads are concerned, honestly, have not seen good roads in Kenya as they are in Nigeria. Yes, we pride ourselves with the expressway now, Mombasa Road, Thika Road and all that, but guys, you've not seen the roads in Abuja, you've not seen the roads in Ilorin, Kwara State, you've not seen the roads in Oshobo, Oshun State, you've not seen the roads in Obomosho. All these places have dual carriageways. I mean, roads, very good roads everywhere. There's no traffic. Traffic is flowing because of the good roads. No potholes, man. I mean, very, very good roads, very clean roads. So I think as far as roads are concerned, honestly, I give it to Nigerians. So I was shocked when I was seeing dual carriages everywhere. compared to, you know, the small roads that we have in most places of the city. And then of course a city like Abuja is very green, well planned. It's something to really yearn for. You can't compare how that city, which is the state capital, looks like, rather the country's capital, the federal capital territory, how it looks like, comparing it to our Nairobi city, which is the capital city of the country. You can't really compare those. They're very, very different. And of course, I think about the greenery, some people say Nairobi is a green city, really, but I think if they say Nairobi is a green city, then they have not seen Abuja. Abuja is really green, man. Trees are planted everywhere, all the way from the airport to the city. You see very green roads, trees everywhere, clear pathways. People have not seen these, man. So if you call Nairobi the green city just because of Nairobi National Park, then there's a lot to be seen. So guys, I think we'll definitely get to learn more in due course as we, you know, get to visit around. So for those guys who have not seen my Abuja videos, I post them down here and I'll have the link at the end of this video, so just check out, and you know, you'll get to experience, get to have a feel of Nigeria that I'm talking about. But basically these are the main, I can call them, these are the main culture shocks that I actually had when visiting Nigeria. And I think there's a bonus culture shock or bonus that I'll actually add. There's a bonus point. Welcome back, guys. I hope you've subscribed. I just ran a commercial break there for you guys to subscribe, so I really hope that you've subscribed as we finish the video. So I was talking about the bonus point. What I noted the time that I visited Nigeria, when I came in first, I think they had just come from the presidential election, so it was almost a cashless country at that time. So a lot of what they were doing was bank-to-bank transfer. So that kind of shocked me, because yes, in Kenya we're used to a cashless society, we use a lot of M-Pesa, but now these bank transfers were really a whole different thing, where I'm transferring money from my bank to your bank and all that. We're not really so much used to that in Kenya, so that almost shocked me a bit. And it shocked me in two ways. One, if you went to a POS are actually stations where you can get to use your card to withdraw money. If you went to a POS to get money, you were charged. Let's say for every 1,000 naira that you get, you're paying like 200 naira or 100 naira. So if I want, let's say 5,000 naira, I'll have to withdraw 6,000 naira, and the POS person will keep 1,000 as charges for getting me this money, because money was not very, the circulation of hard cash wasn't really easy. So I think it was a shock. Why should I pay to get money? I mean, it's my money in the bank, so why am I again paying to get access to this money? So it was really something that shocked me, but gradually they've managed to handle this, and currently you can access that money at a POS with as less as 50 naira or even 20 naira, and even the ATMs actually now have cash, so you can easily get to access cash. But at that time it really shocked me. So I think that will be it for my experience in Nigeria, guys. I'm still learning a few things here and there, eating the foods that have a lot of pepper, and you know, learning their accent here and there. So more will get to come in due course. So for now, guys, it's a bye bye. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe, share, let's grow the community. Peace out.